Peace and blessing. Hello, family. Welcome to Berean Scholar. We're glad to have you, those who are live tonight, and those who will be listening to the replay. I know you've seen the movie The Matrix. And just like this main character here, Neil, sometimes we go through life, sleep, not seeing the signs. But I hope you're watching the news and seeing what's going on. Because the system is designed to control us, the people of the Most High. Things are moving in place to entrap us. People are setting things into motions, and we need to see the signs because the Matrix is real.
What the hell? Long white rabbit.
Knock, knock, Israel. Knock, knock. It's time to wake up. Thank you guys for coming along live. We got an interesting topic tonight, man. Some things are going on in the world today. Like I said, I hope you're watching the news because they are shaping things up to come after us. And some of the things, I hope those of you who are on We Woke Now live last night, you heard a lot of information. And some of the things we talk about tonight connects to that information. I'm not. Are you surprised, Sister Carol?
Oh no. Last night and even before it last night, when he sent me that chart, it just confirmed every single book I've ever read regarding all of those systems and people that were in place in that entire matrix, because it's what it was. It was a matrix chart
Exactly.
of a diagram of the beast system. People want to know, oh, the beast is coming, the beast. That is the beast. We have been living inside the belly of the beast the entire time. That's how they designed it for us to be.
And that system, like you said, sis, is what is the beast? That system that is designed to come after us, that craftily counsel that's set up to come against the Most High's people. And for those of you who have not been, if you haven't heard about the shooting that happened in Minnesota, and I hope you heard all the stuff to go around the shooting in Minnesota. I'm going to play this clip right here. Before I play it, I'll make sure I say it. I know my sister's going to say online, fair use. This is fair use, and let's play it.
And about a mass shooter come out as fast as we've seen with this latest terrible, tragic shooting. I mean, within hours, we're told he was trans, Russian, anti-Israel, and anti-Trump. We see messages that have been written all over his weapons. I mean, we get these videos of the weapons and him showing them off. We get his journal. This is the manifesto. We get all of these many pages of a manifesto. When have we ever seen so much information come out so fast in a mass shooting? Doesn't this just seem a little bit too convenient? Right? I mean, look, I don't want to be the big conspiracy theorist here, but I think we have to be a conspiracy theorist about this, or it's not even a theory when it's an actual conspiracy. Let me play for you this video. And this is what I'm talking about. This is where I think all of this is leading, why they're showing us this person, and he just happens to have all the traits that the neocons hate, right? He's anti-Israel. He's Russian, kind of connected to Russia somehow, which we'll get into that because he's not actually, but he somehow knows how to write in Russian. He knows how to write in Cyrillic. He at 23 years old, who's not Russian. He is anti-Trump. All these things But this is where I think this is leading. Watch, this is Aaron Cohen. He is a former Israeli special ops vet, and he is on Fox News, and this is what he's saying.
Correct. I am now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli grade ontology to pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks.
Would it have picked up on this, do you think?
100%. I wish my program would already be up. We're not launching until next week. I've got a dozen agencies on board, Trace. I just unloaded a major Northeast agency with over 2,700 sworn. This is America's early warning system.
It's America's early warning system, says the former Israeli special ops guy, Aaron Cohen, saying that he's unleashing a surveillance on us that'll detect these things before they happen. So this will flag you if you happen to say certain things. And this guy just so happens, now they're going to release this tech right when it just so happens that this mass shooter has all the things that the Republican neocon establishment hates, right? He's trans. So now we're going to flag all the trans people. So anybody who might be trans is going to get flagged. And, anybody who's anti-Israel, that's going to be top of the list, especially some of the things that this guy said, on the writings on the guns and in his manifesto.
Anybody that clip that their algorithm picks up, they would track and they would surveil. What does it sound like to you, sis?
It reminds me of 9/11 when when that happened. If you recall, we didn't have a homeland security then. It got ushered in after the so-called 9/11 attack happened. The same playbook with this situation, they're getting ready to push in this new system of surveillance. Against us.
And, Pastor Keller is now in the house.
Yes, see him.
It's sitting under the light. It's a glow around him, like a
halo.
Y'all just shining.
Hey, don't bring that that Catholic stuff on me. That halo stuff.
They're looking like Neo in the Matrix.
But I'm at the hotel, my wife and I, so that's why you see me here. And my birthday is Tuesday, so we kind of getting away. So
this would be short.
We're good. We got next few days. So she gave me the permission.
All right.
Okay. All right. Great.
So
you got permission.
Hey, I run things in my house, and then when my wife walks out the room, I come from up under the bed. I was like, then that's I'm like, I told her.
Like a wise man. Sound like a wise man.
Absolutely. Hey, I understand when the Most High told Abraham, listen to your wife.
That's
Hallelujah.
Right.
So a lot of wisdom in that. But when we start looking at, as Sister Carol pointed out, the 911, when you start looking at even before then, right? Well, actually, the millennium. Let's start with the millennium, right? What many people don't know is IT people know, especially if you're into networking, infrastructure, that type of thing. You'll know that the whole millennium bug was just a lie.
Yeah, the Y2K.
What the whole Y2K bug was all about was to transition over to a new level of technology for surveillance. Like now you saw the shifting of television technology, with the DLP televisions and all that, to now taking that same television now, making it into a monitor, including cameras within it. Now you can literally use your television as a camera. Your cable, right, your power cord that goes right into your devices can be used as a network cable. So you can now have network traffic going through your power cord. So that's already been there, and they really that things have really started transitioning over to that, and the whole goal, we all know that data is power,
Hmm.
right? So what are some of the other things that they use? They use cookies. Cookies been around, but
Hmm.
many really don't understand the magnitude of cookies, right? That's why it's good to make it a point to clean out your browser periodically. I have mine set that once I close my browser, everything, cookies and all, that I may not know that was downloaded into my cache is removed, right? So to your point, and as what uh, uh, what's the name, Kim Iverson pointed out, they're using this situation with the shooting in Minnesota to further push an agenda. In every situation, if you notice, regardless who that shooting is directed to, somehow it always points to the 1948ers. The situation in Alabama, our people, right, got shot up, but they pulled that over to the situation in to the name stealers, the 1948ers, Florida, shooting in which my cousin was murdered, right? They pulled that over to the 1948ers. So this here, and I just want to say to all our brothers and sisters that are watching, you know, you have to be engaged in knowing what's going on in this political arena. Because if you just put your head in the sand and say the Most High got us covered, that's ignorance. That's not how the Most High told us to operate, especially if you are a leader. We are supposed to be watchmen, watching and seeing what's coming down the horizon. Daniel worked in the governmental system at the highest level. So that's why when you see him going into fasting, it's because he saw the things that was coming down the pike for his people, and he went into a fast to get clarity on how to disseminate that information to Israel to give the warning. So again, I know I'm long, went a little longer with my
No,
answer,
no,
but I just wanted to just point certain things out that we have to be more conscientious than what we are, and we can't just uh, be so religious, so heavenly minded that we know earthly good. In other words, we don't know how to function, and we have children. We have the younger generations that are going out into these wolves, going out into this uh, I want to say this government going out into this environment. And if we don't start preparing them properly, then they're going to be eaten up, as we see happening to so many.
exactly, exactly. And I love the term. We are called to be watchmen for our people and for our brothers. And when you see things like this happening in the news and it was happening around the world, you need to hear and listen with intelligence. I heard a man say that once before. Listen with intelligence.
You got to put
What's
that on
the
a T-shirt.
what's the Hebrew word for that?
Shema.
Shema'ah. Listen with intelligence, not just hear. Listen with intelligence, because these people will use any excuse to up the ante on how they surveil us and everybody else that they think that they need to control. It's a system of control.
Absolutely, and that's what just to what you're laying out here, what you share with Kim Iverson. She starting to see what we've. When I say we, many in this awakening have been sounding the alarm for years. Now it's just that the other people starting to catch up.
Yes.
Like the Candace Owens and the Kim Iversons, and even what's her name, Fox News pundit that's now she
Oh
got kicked
yeah,
off of it, Megyn
the
Kelly.
Megan Kelly. Yeah.
Megyn Kelly and what's that other guy that's out of
Wasn't
left?
that White Santa Claus?
Tucker.
Yeah, Nick Fertain for whatever his name, Nick
Mm-hmm.
whatever Fuentes, Tucker
Fuentes.
Carlson. Now they're making Kanye West look like a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how they ridiculed him over his statements. Now look at what's happening. So,
Correct.
so again, going back to the overall discussion, for tonight, I feel like somebody's watching me They are.
They're
And
watching us.
last point I want to make, and this just me speaking from experience of just some of what we just had. When I say we, um, my wife and I, and some of the leaders, after acquiring a piece of land, a piece of land that more than quadrupled in value since we purchased it, right? And going into the approval system, you see that the 1948ers are there. That's where you see them. That's where you see their influence on our communities. When you're going before these boards, getting, let's just say, provisional approvals to conduct business outside of doing supermarkets, I'm not supermarkets, barbershops and nail salons, going outside of that genre of business, when you start getting into real estate from a perspective of what we're going at with it, and they see that the impact that it can have when you have that type of influence, right? That type of power, then they want to minimize that. They want to try
Yes.
to suppress that effectiveness. So yeah, we experiencing that firsthand, that there's a lot of opposition out there in these different layers, and that gives them the opportunity to be gatekeepers in these special areas, gatekeepers to say who's doing what and monitoring what we're doing, and then suppress it as well.
And I know some of you guys might be saying that, well, I don't have a YouTube channel, and I'm not coming online and doing anything, so they're not watching me. They're watching your Google search. They're watching
Hmm.
what you search on your phone. They like Pastor said, they listen to other technologies in your house. But when he brought their connection to the 49ers, I'm gonna play this clip, and he's gonna mention some other people who are here in the States they're trying to team with. Let me know if you can hear it.
Calling Gideon AI trailer. Let's play it very quickly.
Gideon is the first real-time AI system built to detect threats online before they become attacks. Anonymous networks flagging behavior, predicting danger. We don't get a second chance. Let's not miss the next one.
15 seconds there, and you're talking about stopping mass shootings, attacks in Boulder before they start.
Trace, I'm building the first AI-driven threat prediction platform for law enforcement. They're flying blind right now. I've got an elite team of engineers from Palantir. I've got law enforcement agencies lined up. 76% of these mass attackers posted some type of grievance online. This is America's early warning detection system. If you're a chief out there, reach out to me and get on my pilot. And if you're a VC, I'm about to open my seed round. Partner with me, and let's make America safe again and get cops the tools they need.
Did you hear that, people?
That's right.
Did you hear that, Pastor?
Yep.
Palantir.
Hmm.
And he's making a pitch for more money too.
Of course.
And it's so many layers to that, right? Do you guys remember the movie Minority Report?
Yes, one of my favorite movies.
You know, that movie is so ahead of its time.
Hmm.
Remember the whole structure of that technology, the dependency of the technology. It was three individuals. Notice it was three, right? Two
Right.
guys, one female, and I
Hmm.
forgot the term that they used for them, but they had a gift of being able to see into the future. So they
See it.
created a technology to be able to connect this technology to their brains. So what they would do is they would use this technology and use them to be able to predict crime in the future.
Hmm.
So they'll say, well, this person they saw in this vision, and it was confirmed through their tools that this person is going to commit a crime, and so they would go and arrest the person before they even did anything,
Right.
Exactly.
right? So this is basically what this tool is saying that there is going to do. It's like Skynet, to
Hmm.
go out and try to predict behaviors, and then you get a knock on your door. Now you're being targeted, and that's basically what this is doing. It's another level of profiling to be
Mm-hmm.
exact.
Right.
Exactly.
And we've been subjected to profiling, going all the way back to what's that,
Slavery.
90, 90, 89, 90, or even slavery, but just with
Right.
the
Right.
technology, the terms.
Right.
Remember the crime bill that was
Mm-hmm.
passed by the Democrats, but I'm not going to let the Republicans off the hook because it was a bipartisan bill, and the
Right.
Republicans wanted to take it even worse, make it even more harsh
Well,
than
they was
what
about.
it was.
Well,
So
let's go back to the 50s and 60s. They were doing it back then on our people.
exactly, exactly. And but just think about it for a moment, family. They, when I say they, have always had things in place, mechanisms. This
Mm-hmm.
mechanism that this particular community had in place is be part of all of our programming. And there was a situation where I can't remember what it's called. The case where the Jewish community, their office out in San Francisco, was raided, and they discovered that they had stacks of files on every organization in the country, and that they infiltrated every last one of them.
Right.
I'll see if I could pull it up to tell you exactly what it is, but that's what they do. They always have uh, a foot on both sides of the situation, like you see with the Republicans, right? I mean, not Republicans, with the political arena, right? Look how they dropped Joe Biden. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a bag of rocks, like Charlie Brown, going out trick or treating, right? Remember, he got a bag of rocks. He's like,
Always. Yep.
that's what they
Mm-hmm.
did to Joe Biden. Joe Biden was like, hey, saying that he's a Zionist. And as soon
Exactly.
as Trump won the election, they flipped the switch on him quick. And now talking bad about Joe Biden. So that's the whole agenda. It's all about themselves at the expense of everyone. But using that to further bring that whole approach that's going on overseas in Israel and that whole territory, Gaza and all of that, what we're seeing happening now is that entire system being brought over here. That's what this Manchurian candidate that we call a leader, all of them are just basically not just him, Biden, all of them are still tools
Yeah.
used by that organization to push an agenda. And now you see it like being sped up now.
Yep.
And I'm glad you brought that analogy of the Minority Report, because that's exactly what I saw. They've been doing this on the retail level all along. And that's why
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you should get rid of your cookies and stuff, because they can predict what you buy, where you go. Some of you, and I know my wife and I have known many times, we could be talking about something like we want to look at something, then all of a sudden we get ads on Facebook, ads on YouTube by the product that we've been talking about.
It's an algorithm. It listens to
Well,
you.
well, it goes beyond just the algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
This goes back into a simple technology called cookies,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So let's just say if you on Amazon and you just do a search for, let's just say, funky fingers, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden you go to your channels like smart TV, whether it's YouTube TV, whatever. All of a sudden you start getting all these advertisements.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Exactly.
because that's the whole goal, is data. Data is
Data.
everything. So they take those cookies that have been downloaded, and now they use that to be able to customize advertisements to you, to the
Correct.
individual, versus just having a universal ad, let's just say from Kentucky Fried Chicken, and just show it on your screen, and just hopefully they can just uh accumulate some movement off of it from someone, right? But now they can make it uh more targeted for the individual.
Correct.
But then again, it's to your point, Berean Scholar, Sister Carol. This is why when you start getting into what's that, the Androids, the Apple tools that they have, that
Mm-hmm.
you start talking to and all that stuff, they're taking that.
Yeah. Siri's always
But
listening.
Yep.
exactly, so you have to literally go into your phone to disable these things,
Correct.
right? So even going pulling it back to the Kim Iverson thing, the Gideon software, that is what they're doing right now, like the pushing right now. But the key is those guys are in cybersecurity now, right? That guy that was that's the head of cybersecurity for Israel. That's on the that's part of the Netanyahu uh, group or whatever. He got busted for pedophilia,
Yep.
Right.
part of a sting.
Correct.
But he was in Las Vegas, part of a conference for cybersecurity, and he is at the front, at the top. He's the one that contacts Gronk and contacts ChatGPT, the makers of ChatGPT, these different AIs,
Open
and
AI, all of
he
it.
is telling them what to remove, what to filter, what to target.
Right.
And so this is why even now, a Berean scholar, we discussed this a while back when we did the DNA thing with the with ChatGPT said, watch, they're going to shift. And you can start seeing some shifting with the AIs, even with, like I'll say, languages and things like that. But anyway, I yield.
No, no, that's exactly what we. That's why we sounded alarm tonight, because our family need to understand that they are shaping up so they can have complete control. On cyber, on with
Hmm.
data.
Hmm.
If they get their way, they're gonna start sending more troops in certain areas that have us in it.
Well,
Those areas that targeted, the areas that have us in it. So
speaking of which, I just got a notification on my phone that in Chicago, they have 35 dead, 7 injured, within the matter of, I guess, a couple of hours ago, ahead of the troops coming in from Trump. So this is their, uh, what do you want to call it? Not red flag, but what do they call that when they sound the alarm to let you know?
Black flag,
Yeah, they're coming.
yeah,
The
and they
National
know.
Guard. Right.
Yeah, nothing was going on, but so they'll create something, and then it's, oh, see that's happening. Let's go do it.
It always happen on a holiday.
Yeah. And this is the other thing that we have to stop doing, family. And I know that many have good intentions, but
Hmm.
this thing of whenever something happened, whether it's police brutality or whatever, we would default by saying, well, we concerned about uh, what the cops are doing, but what about what we're doing to ourselves, right?
Hmm.
And start piggybacking on that black on black crime narrative, right? To thinking that black on black crime is higher than anything else. White on white crime, the statistics are pretty much the same. Asian on Asian crime, the statistics are pretty much the same. Criminals are lazy. Criminals do not go across town. They're gonna focus on where they are. And so I'm not minimizing uh, or trying to normalize criminal activity, but the facts are the facts. That started being made popular during the shootings of that occurred back with this South Carolina shooting, Charleston, South Carolina shooting with that church. That's where that saying began to be that so-called faulty statistics began to circulate, and that was to try to change the narrative of what actually took place to now we're now saying, oh well, what about what we do to ourselves? We don't hear uh, when something happened to an Asian, oh, what about Asian on Asian crime? We don't hear, even with the Catholics, what about Catholic on Catholic crime or Catholics fighting a Protestant move? We don't hear about those things, but
Or
we're
something
the only
happened.
community that do it.
Hmm.
Something happened to one of the people from the 1949ers. We don't hear that. We see actions.
Exactly. And so that's why we have to be careful trying to regurgitate these narratives because it doesn't take away from the fact right is right, wrong is wrong. Now, if you go back to Trump's first administration, he was already trying to send ICE to Chicago
Right.
and many of our key places, you know, um, and want to make it as if Chicago is a war zone. Where are they going to? Where are they targeting? They're targeting our communities. They're targeting where we are. And I'm working on something here where I was uh, reading about St. Louis, about the fog, right? A fog that the government spread it throughout our community that was radioactive, giving out oatmeal, radioactive oatmeal. But they had people monitoring it. Going back to that point, like Sister Carol pointed out, that they've been doing it even before then, but to monitor the effects of it. So they got all kinds of things that they're doing to our community. But the fact of the matter is, we keep getting in our own ways of trying to acknowledge these things. We get so caught up in being thankful that they're allowing us to come, to come in and stand at the front door to feel like we got some type of notoriety. We've established. I mean, we are now. How can I put it? We are now. We've made it when actually we so far behind, and we keep
Exactly.
allowing them to do whatever they do in our communities, the educational systems, all kinds of experiments, the whole nine.
Yeah, they're giving us a place in the room, but they didn't give us a seat at the table.
Think
Mm.
about it. I worked at DOJ, right? And you see who has influence. When you see all those lobbyists coming into the
Mhm.
especially that are registering during um, election season, you don't see us.
No,
You
because we
see
don't buy our lives.
manufacture plants. You
Right.
see social these spaces of social media for us, like the owners of these social media platforms.
Mhm.
You see all these different people. You see the homosexual community. You
Yep.
see the biggest lobbyist is the 1948ers, different groups.
That's right.
But you see all of them have representation there.
Yes. Correct. That part.
And we
We
think that having the Black Caucus is some form of representation. While
and it's
they
not.
are, they just gatekeepers. And as Sister Carol brings up from time to time, they the boule.
That's right.
Go ahead, Sister Carol.
I was going to say, we have not learned how to vote yet. We do not understand politics. We believe it's going with our vote, our right to vote, our voter's registration card to go vote and cast it. That's all we have to do. No, you have to buy your
See, the Matrix got
lobbyists.
her.
Huh?
You going out, Sister Carol?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said you have to buy your lobbyists to represent you with money. This is a money game. It's not a voting game. You have to buy your representation to go to the table to buy what you want. As you just mentioned, all those representation of people, of groups, put money on their lobbyists to go take care of their things they want done in their community or for their group. That's how they get things done. We do not do that because we do not understand that. We are kept in that box by the Black Caucus, the boule, to think all we have to go do is vote Democrat. And that's it. And sit down and be happy and wait until something happens. And nothing ever happens.
And let me say this too, because I know some that are watching are going to say, "Oh, you're not supposed to vote. You're not supposed to vote." And I want to say this, family: if you choose to vote, choose not to vote, that's your prerogative, right? Still show up to see what's going on.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this: what system did the Israelites use for Christ to be lynched? What did they do? They was presented rather to choose between two individuals. And what did they do? They cast votes.
Exactly.
They voted
Mhm.
for the one that took lives versus the one that came to restore our lives.
That's right.
So there was a vote right there. There's voting all through the scriptures, whether it's internally within our community. This is where you see the term cast lots. They
Hmm.
even did that for the replacing Judas.
Right.
So we have to
Well,
make sure that we understand that, if you choose to vote, if that's fine. If you choose not to vote, that's fine. But the key is you need to know what's going on. If you're not active in your community,
mhm,
especially on the local level, and then you have your children going to these public schools, you are in error. You
What
are
what
in error.
Pastor, wait a minute, Pastor. Are you saying as an Israelite we should be voting on our local and national elections?
You should be involved with that.
Wait,
Absolutely.
hold on.
Message.
So think about it. And I'm saying this from a perspective of you don't have to be enrolled in any party because I'm not enrolled in no party. But
Me
when I
either.
go out to the, when we, involved with this, the city council, these open forums and all, especially with your community, and they're giving you a projection of what they're going to do in that community, whether put a park in there, a post office, whatever the case may be. You need to be up to speed with that.
I
You
mean,
need to be able to voice your opinions on and
If
you
you are a taxpayer, you should be stating your voice.
a
If you're
homeowner.
paying taxes in your city, in your state, or in this country, your voice need to be heard in your community.
Well, see,
Period.
part of the problem is again, we got so fractured with political parties.
Right. We don't
Political
understand voting.
parties just became it's not really understanding voting, it's understanding the demise, right, of these different systems, right? Remember how our community initially was all about being Republicans. I mean Democrat. No, Republicans. But then it was
Republican
what
first.
in the 60s the transition of going from Republicans to Democrats. And now they just no matter what the Democrats do, they still what 100% support Democrats
Hmm.
instead of saying, you know what, let me look at who's on the docket.
Right.
Let me do my research. It doesn't matter whether Democrat, Republican, Independent. Let me see exactly what each one of these guys are bringing to the table, how it's going to affect my household, taking resources out of it or keeping resources in. Let
Correct.
me
Exactly.
go based on an individual level of each person that's on there. Let me itemize this. But now we just go with the party thing,
Right.
and
Correct.
that's how we continue to be disappointed. So uh, that's why I want to just kind of bring that home with this understanding the politics. Daniel was part of the politics. He understood the political system. Joseph, heck, he gave Pharaoh advice on how to prosper through this famine that was coming. So Esther, the Most High had her what? Marry a king of another nation, but still told her, had to remind her, hey, you in this political position for a reason. Don't forget where you came from. That's what Mordecai had to remind her of that. So, but again, going back to the point that we're making about this, somebody's watching us, man, it's that is so important to understand, family. They are always watching us. They have always watched us from when we were slaves, uh, putting this self check system in, you know what I mean? Meritorious manumission, you know what I mean? This receipt. This is why Sister Carol, I tell you, I can't stand this whole I got receipts because that's going right back to slave plantation,
I got paper.
because yeah, because slaves had to, in order to move around, they had to have a receipt, a ticket showing that they had permission to move to another side, another area of the plantation, or leave the plantation to go in town to do whatever errands for massa. So they had to have a receipt. And so when we say I got receipts, we're still what? Perpetuating the behavior that now we got to always have in our mind papers to show and say, hey, I have permission to do X, Y, Z. So thus, who we're presenting it to, not just one another, we're presenting it to the very systems that are in place that have been suppressing our people.
And to what we bring this all in because the shooting out in Minnesota, the the immediate uh, finding all the information on the shooter, and some of the contradictory things that you find out about the person who's from who was mad at Israel because Israel killed a lot of the Gaza kids, but he's gonna go shoot up kids. That didn't make any sense. Then the shooter that the other thing they said that he did that there was this contradicting himself. But these stories we cannot believe what's coming down propaganda. They tell us stuff on the news what they want us to know, and it's not what's happening. But you all could see what they're doing. We could see what they are doing, and that's the thing we should keep our eyes on, because they're showing that they want to police us, they want to control us, and they want to find a way to get rid of us. To be honest.
And to that point, think of all the things, the decisions that they've made. I mean, from this administration to the last administration, because I know many would say, "Oh, well, look at what Trump is doing," and try to make it seem like Biden was clean. No,
Right.
Biden lied about a lot of things, like being part of the civil rights. Remember, he
Mm-hmm.
lied about that. You know, Biden didn't want his children to be around us. It's on record of him saying that. He called Haiti, spoke down against Haiti. So just want to just point out some of those things. But when we start looking at what Biden did, remember with the I'll just say the vax, right? Look at how they demonized our community.
Mm-hmm.
They were targeting in our community because we were the least that jumped on top of that vac. So what did they do? They start putting the pressure on us to try to push us to getting it. Remember, they
And
was doing all kinds of things to try to target us, demonize us.
and speaking of which, I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I mentioned about surveillance. The surveillance program for COVID was rolled out during his administration on your phone. That to turn it on to track if you have quote unquote the viral virus in your area, and it will track
Yeah.
it back to them. So they will come and monitor your area and come to your door and
Oh,
vaccinate you.
take it a step further. They took us back to the receipts of the plantation. They empowered local businesses to ask you if you were vaxxed, to
Mhm.
show proof if you were vaxxed or not.
Mhm.
That broke every kind of law you could think of.
Absolutely. And people lost their jobs, livelihood
Exactly.
behind it.
Yeah, you lost assets. You couldn't. Some place you couldn't go
If
if you
you,
didn't have your
yeah,
card.
if you went to a
You didn't have your
restaurant,
papers.
yeah, if you
Exactly.
went to a restaurant, they were empowered to ask you, show me your papers.
That's right.
You know, so I'm saying all of that to say, family, just to make sure you guys are clear, we're not supporting one or the other. We're making it clear that all of them have their angles on undermining our community. Now, this go round, we're worn out, like Daniel chapter 7, I believe, verse 24 and 25, that referring to that fourth beast is going to wear us out, right? Going to speak lies, but going to wear us out, make us good, feel like we're good for nothing, right? And that's what we're feeling right now because of how we continue to be the group that is made the face of something, kind of like that straw man, then fight against. So
Exactly.
now when we decide to say, you know what, we sitting out these things now because of what being worn out. Now you got groups calling us, hey, where are the Negroes?
Exactly.
Right.
So that's because what we're worn out. We realizing now that both parties, all these so-called politicians, starting with our own people, have been selling us out. They've been getting their under their meritorious manumission. You know what I mean? They making sure their household is taken care of by what exposing the entire group of people, our people.
And that's exactly what happened, because I remember there was a time. In fact, I really think that a lot of things they're doing is trying to excite the black community. Some of the stuff they're saying about the museum, they're trying to rile us up to get us out there.
Yeah, and so they don't realize we already know that our history has always been whitewashed and and minimized because
Exactly.
we know that our identity got hijacked. So when they talk about the Smithsonian and the Negro Museum and all that stuff, we're not rattled because we're used to it. They think that we're going to what? Oh, let's go up here and march. No, because we already know. They always water down everything, even our accomplishments. They always water it down, minimize it.
And that's why it's imperative that each one of us share the truth. Each one of us make sure that we people who walk in the truth, and we come out from among those things that are trying to keep us in the control of this system, I mean, what this the system is trying to choke us out. That crafty council that's been developed to kill us and keep us from being a nation.
Yeah. And see, the key to any device, especially when we start dealing with business, like the top businesses, and even when we think about this thing that the 1948ers are doing, this tool, it's all about security.
Hmm.
It's all about security, right? Think about it. You have this push to get insurance on your vehicles for what could happen,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
What can happen. So they want to make sure that what you are plugged into that. So hey, you know what? This could happen. You don't want to be uninsured if this, just in case this happened, or your health benefits. Because they know the system is rigged to where as though, all right, when all through your youth, you paying into the system of healthcare. You know what I mean? But then when you get to an age that you need to benefit from it, now they are what? Taking it from you. Now they
exactly.
dumbing it down. Now they watering it down. You go 30 and 40 years, which they built the system off of, have you paying into, because they know that at the early ages, you don't really deal with a lot of sicknesses. But then when you get to that age of retirement, the chances of having ailments increases. But then that's where they want to pull the carpet from up under us. So
And that's
again, family, security is the number one thing. That's why the insurance business is the number one business in the world, because they target security. What the Israel, the 1948ers, they want to what? This thing of speculation. Oh, we got to get in front of these situations so that way we can knock it down ahead of time. We
Right.
got to go to Chicago, where the Negroes are. We got to go to D.C. where the Negroes are. We have to go to
each
Richmond, Virginia, where the Negroes are. We got to go to Newark, New Jersey, where the Negroes are. We got to go to Houston, where the Negroes are. We got to go to all the places where
Mhm.
we are, because the overall thought is we're barbarians.
That's
We
right.
don't know how to act.
We're wicked.
So we got to send the National Guard to
Hmm.
do what they can't do.
Correct.
They're not deploying them to the other side of town. They're deploying it to our communities.
That's right.
When it's proven that most of the Republican states, they have cities that the crime is far higher than Chicago, far higher than these different places they trying to deploy. Like, what is it? Mississippi got some places in there that's far worse.
top in murder rate,
Hmm.
Yeah,
top on top, and they're sending reserves to DC.
yeah,
And Chicago.
And Louisiana is I think it's numbers 7 or 5 in murder in crime and murder,
Yep.
violent crime and murder, and they're sending guards. These red states who are backing whatever he said, they're sending their support, but yet they have more crime, more murders than all the one they're trying to overtake. But us is not over those states; it's the other people they're trying to control. And what color the mayors and the leaders in those areas?
exactly, exactly. And again, family, this is we see the scriptures that talks about this, and I just really encourage you guys to study Matthew's chapter 24, because it's right in sequence of all what we're going to go through, right? The beginning of sorrows, the afflictions during the 70 AD, the falling of the sacking of Jerusalem, and then when you transition from that period to the Great Tribulation, that's when you start getting into the Arabic slave trade. You get into some of the things that our ancestors did when they fled from Jerusalem, and many of them were fleeing from Jerusalem even before them being sacked. But then this is where you will see that many of them fled to India, which at that time was Ethiopia. You know what I mean? Fleeing to there, and that sword chasing them out there. Because by the time you get to the 15th century, you know the Europeans made their way out there and brought that caste system there to the Coquidians. I believe that's I believe that's what they call it. Not Coquidians. I can't think of the name of the brews out there. Coquidians is another group, but different group, but not associated with them. So they they bring that oppression no matter where we are.
Right.
And so you, like I said, going back to the point, the Great Tribulation, man, we've been in the Great Tribulation, family. Don't let this Eurocentric, westernized view of the scriptures make you believe that the Great Tribulation is something that's coming now. No, we transitioning to a third period of tribulation, because it says after the what tribulations, then XYZ is going to happen. Then we're going to see what, there's going to be a cry, during that period, a mourning during that period of the nations. That tells you that there's going to be another period of affliction. But it
Mhm.
says then we're going to see the signs of his return. And
Right.
then we may even experience his actual return in our lifetime.
Oh man. Oh man. Well, I just wanted to get an opportunity for us to come online and sound this alarm to our family, to all the ones who are listening. I hope you guys will share this broadcast. Sister Carol, you want to say anything else on that?
Just stay alert. What's going on around you? Pay attention to the news, and not just look at the front part of the news. Look what's behind the news. What's driving it? That's the one thing that we do not do. We don't look at what's going on behind the scenes. That's what's really triggering everything that's going on in the front. Who's motivated behind it? Who got money behind it? And who's pushing it? We need to
Exactly.
be
That's a
more
good one.
conscious of that.
And to your point, Sister Carol, not being, how can I put it, one sided when you look at the news.
Right. Look at
Look
all
at
of it.
Fox News, look at
Exactly.
MSNBC, look at all these different platforms so that way you can actually see what's going on and
That's right.
understand what's going on. And then, as you pointed out, do your due diligence and researching to know what's going on as well.
That's right.
Exactly. And that's a great way to take it. If you listen to both sides, because they both getting propaganda, and you
Yeah.
hear what they're saying, and like Sister Carol says, see who's behind it,
Mm-hmm.
who's profiting for it, and what they're not saying about the situation. That's when you have to go and do your own research on the issue.
Correct.
Someone asked the question too, can you speak more on cleaning the cookies on your PC, like how to do it? I'm not tech savvy. Um, Whatever browsers that you're using, just go into your settings. Within your settings, whether it's I was going to say Internet Explorer, right? That's taking us back, right? Now they call it
Wow.
Edge, right? They call it Edge. Believe it or not, even though they say that they took Internet Explorer from your operating systems,
It's
it's
still
still
there.
there,
It's still there for
but
now.
they just made it so that way it doesn't come up, right? But
Right.
anyway, go to your Edge. You should have a settings within Edge, and even if you have to Google it, whether it's Edge, whether it's
Chrome,
Firefox, whether it's Chrome, whether it's some of the
Safari.
other
Right.
Safari, some of the other
Mhm.
software browsers that are out there. Every last one of them have an internet setting, and you want to go to the internet settings, and the section that you want to look for is cache. They have
Mhm.
cache settings. So you clear your cache. And if you have any saved passwords, that's how hackers get into your information, because they know that many people may have their passwords stored and not have it secured. So those passwords that you may, when you go, let's say you log into, I'm just going to say ESPN, and it already have your cache credentials there. That's
Mhm.
because it has a file and on your computer that it piggybacks off of, and it keeps and it makes, from another perspective, keep allows your browser to, that page to launch a little faster, because it already have certain images already downloaded to your cache. So
Mhm.
you want to go to your settings section of your browser, and it'll give you the opportunity to clear your cookies, clear your
Right.
cache.
Right.
And what I do, I just they give you the option to clear it at the end of every time you close your browser. So as long as you keep your browser open, it won't clear. But as soon as let's just say you reboot your computer or whatever, it's going to clear it. So I hope that helps. So yeah, that's important to really minimize some of the tactics that they're doing.
I was trying to do it step by step while you were saying that, but mine would not cooperate with me when I was trying to do it. So it wouldn't say it would freeze. So
Oh, because they're watching you, right?
you stopped me from deleting it. So, well, guys, I thank you guys for coming on, and I hope you learned something tonight. You got anything coming up, Pastor?
Pretty much, I'm going to do some uploads over the next couple of days. Primarily going to chill out with the missus over the next couple of days as well. But this week we'll do some lives continuing on what we started with the cult of Baal. We're going to continue to have that discussion because it's needed. Got some more information that I'm going to reveal with that, how it ties into a lot of stuff. Family is so many layers to that. So that's all I have going on this week. I just want to encourage everyone, keep us in prayer because we are dealing with spiritual wickedness at high places, especially when you start getting into certain spaces. You begin to actually see those places where those spiritual wickedness, those evil spirits are nested. So keep us in prayer. That's all I have on my plate. I yield.
Sister Carol?
Well, this weekend I will be in Dallas in my commencement exercises for this Saturday. So keep me lifted up in prayer for that as I fly to Dallas on Friday and prepare for my commencement exercises.
Amen. I ask for each one of you to keep Sister Carol and Pastor and Kelly in prayer. Family, is imperative that we be more than just hearers, that we be doers. And those of you who are benefit from the great content that Pastor Kelly put out and others put out, share it, make sure other people hear it so you can support what they're doing and lift them up in prayer, because the enemy don't like truth. So the enemy is going to come against those who try to spread the truth. So band together. Let's do this together. Let's sound the alarm. Let's get our people awakened that we can see the Messiah come, and we'll be together in the New Jerusalem. Amen.
Amen.
And guys, I want to thank y'all for being online. Thank you guys for showing up and always being faithful. And those who are seeing this live, those that are going to see it next time, I hope you have had a good time. Hope it blesses you, and I hope you learn something. So tonight, I just say shalom, and I hope that you have a blessed week and go out and walk in the truth.
Amen. Shalom.
All right, shalom. Good night, Bray.
What do you think about this topic? Remember to be a Berean scholar, as it is written in the book of Acts 17 verses 11 to 12. Now the Bereans were more noble-minded than the Thessalonians, for they received the message with great eagerness and examined the scriptures every day to see if these teachings were true. It's time to deepen your understanding and see your reflection within the sacred pages. Please click subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay up to date with the Berean Scholar channel.